Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of News in Motion. Or if this is your first time tuning in, we just want to say thank you for tuning in. You are right now with the live host of the show, the pregame host, if you will, of the show. My name is Isaiah Jones, and we just want to welcome you in to the room. Today is May 3rd, 2023. And as you're coming into the room, today is Wednesday workshop, y'all. So make sure you have your pen and your paper because we have some important news for you. For our audio and podcast listeners, we just want to say thank you for tuning in and turning those dials to Hot 97 of News in Motion. That's right, you are tuned into Hot 97 for all of our audio and podcast listeners. I also want to give a shout out to my father, Fred Jones. Today is his birthday, so we could tell Fred Jones in the chat happy birthday. That would be greatly appreciated. We also have the DJ. He's gonna play your favorite song for you, Mr. Jones. Electric Relaxation by A Tribe Called Quest. That will be on the rotation later on today, just for you. As we are coming into the room, let us know that you're coming in, whether it's through YouTube, Facebook. Shout out to also our LinkedIn viewers as well. And like I said before, as you're going into the workplace, dropping the kiddos off, y'all know what we do here. Let's go get this news in motion.
What's up, everyone? This is Gail Dudley, and this is time for News in Motion. But first off, happy birthday to Fred Jones. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It is your birthday. If you're in YouTube, if you're in Facebook, if you're in Facebook and you're wondering, where's all the people at? They're over here on YouTube. So you can go to youtube.com/Gail Dudley and join them over there, or you can choose to stay where you are for right now. It's totally up to you. But if you're wondering where all the people are at, they're over here on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/Gail Dudley. Subscribe, hit the alerts, all of that. And join the chat over there. There's probably about 20 something over there already. And I believe we have 8 over here in Facebook. So it's up to you what platform you choose. But the party's going on over in YouTube. With that being said, I see Dr. Antoinette, Shirley Nicholson, Fred Jones. Again, happy birthday to you. Kim Edmondson. We have Adrian. We have Pastor Alex. We have Yvonne Gardner. So good to see you. We have Donita. I'm trying to figure out, I'm missing some people here. I know we have Tracy Newman. We have Stephanie Burbridge Hall, Shirley Nicholson, Deborah Sneed. I'm missing some people. But y'all know who you are. Just go ahead and say hello and make sure you say happy birthday to Fred Jones. All right, y'all, today is Wednesday. It is Wednesday, May the 3rd, 2023. And as Isaiah said, it is your Wednesday workshop. We didn't get rid of that. I am your host, Gail Dudley. Welcome everyone who is tuning in with us live. But if you're happening to watch the replay, that's cool. Just follow along. We love hearing from you and coming back to the chat to see what you've written in here. Thank you for allowing me to spend a portion of your day with you. Our goal is to keep it to 30 minutes, but every now and then we go to about 45. But we have so much news we want to share with you. And for those of you who are new to the platform, or you're returning and you have not heard this, I'm going to say this one more time today and then again on tomorrow. But News in Motion, we have changed our mission statement just slightly to make sure we are including everyone we need to include. And look at y'all, Latrice Jones came up here and talking about happy birthday, baby, talking about her man, Fred Jones. What's up, Latrice? Y'all, News in Motion is a media outlet that provides citizens with the opportunity to become more engaged in civic life through headline news, voter education, voter participation, and a call to action. all with an inspirational message. It is a grassroots movement designed to empower and motivate through informative and engaging content. For all the team that's watching, y'all notice I did not read the whole thing, so I'm remembering it. And once again, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube, go to youtube.com/Gail Dudley and subscribe. There's a party going on over there. Over here on Facebook, there's about 10 of y'all now. Y'all might feel a little lonely, but you can still engage with each other who's on that platform, and you can come on over to where the party's happening. I see you, Tracy Burrs. I see you, Hester Jackson. Y'all, volunteers are needed. We kicked this off on May the 1st. We're helping out with other organizations with voter registration. If you're a volunteer and you're interested, please send us an email at newsinmotionwithgail@gmail.com and say, hey, we're interested in I'm interested in becoming a volunteer. Y'all, we're talking maybe minimal 5 hours a month, maybe even less than that. We're going to show you how to put it all together within your sphere of influence. For example, we're having 18, 19, and 20-year-olds really educate voters that are 18, 19, 20 years old. So if you're 60, 61, 62, and you've never registered to vote, or maybe you're a registered voter, but you have not actually participated in voting, we will pair you up with 60, 61, 62, 63 years old. So we're grouping them together that way. I have been really processing this, flushing this out, putting this all together, and I'm so excited about it. So that is happening as well. I see you, Mike Nicholson. What's up? I see you, George Saunders, and I see my sister, Patricia Laus. So y'all, it's time for the headline news. So let's stay in the know to see what's going on. CNBC is reporting that U.S. job openings dropped to 9.59 million in March, roughly 1.6 million fewer than in December, according to the government data released on yesterday. Now, y'all, analysts claim the figure, the lowest level in nearly 2 years, indicates that it's a tight labor market is normalizing. So we got to watch this flush out. The Federal Reserve has a lot to say, but I'm kind of like laid back on the Federal Reserve. I'm still trying to figure out where that $200 billion is from that First Republic Bank. I'm just saying what I'm saying. I just still have questions. I see you, Anita Dawson, evangelist, pastor, bishop, if I can say that too. Y'all, CBS is reporting that President Biden is sending active duty military to the border. That's happening. The Department of Defense is deploying 1,500 troops to the U.S.-Mexico border to assist in non-law enforcement responsibilities, such as providing support for the detention and processing migrants. Now, y'all, the timing is not a coincidence. However, Title 42, the COVID-era policy that allows authorities to swiftly expel migrants from the U.S., expires next week. So what's really going on? We have questions for you, Biden. I'm not going to give you grace because you kind of like calmed the nation down over the last couple of years. I'm still have heat on you as well, because I want to know what you're really doing, why you're doing it, why you're making the decisions you're making, and why we still don't have voting rights. Just asking what I'm asking. ABC News is reporting that authorities have arrested 288 people for trafficking fentanyl and opioids on the dark web over the last 18 months. Hold up, wait a minute. I have another question. How is it that you're able to have this dark web? Hello, somebody. And we've been talking about it. We had lawsuits. People paid out the lawsuits. There were settlements. And then you have this dark web. What happened to the CIA? What happened to the Secret Service? What happened to the people in the background looking at these things? How are these things happening? And how are they now into the neighborhoods? Oh, I forgot, just like Reagan era. Okay, so y'all just really repeating what Reagan did back in his time, how y'all got guns and drugs, and then all of a sudden the black and brown people are fighting and all the stuff is in our neighborhoods, gives y'all reason to come in, knock on the door, shoot us up, do whatever. We need to get this together. We need to protect our own. Yeah, I'm saying what I'm saying. Y'all, authorities also seized roughly 1,800 pounds of drugs. That's 117 firearms and 53.4 million in cash and virtual currency. Now, this is coming from the Justice Department that announced this on yesterday. Y'all knew this way before then. Y'all listen to chatter all day, every day. So you waited 18 months to do something about it? Okay, I see what's happening. Y'all, the New York Times is reporting, and this is their direct headline, the discovery of the text message contributed to a chain of events that ultimately led to Tucker Carlson's firing. Now, I'm not going to read that text message. I read it. I said, if that's not domestic terrorism, I don't know what is. And why did y'all allow him to stay on the air as long as you have allowed him to stay on the air when he was talking about killing people? Hello, somebody. Read the text for yourself. It's out there. Just go look for it. Go to New York Times and see everything you need to see. We are developing white supremacy, domestic terrorism, and we're turning a blind eye on it, and we're trying to call it and label it mental health. No, Tucker does. He is a mental case, but Tucker Carlson is a smart, brilliant man, and he knows what he was doing. The only reason, Fox News, you decided to fire him is because Dominion voting system was about to allow that to be information on the trial. That's why you paid out the billions of dollars that you paid out. All of this comes back to you, y'all. All we got to do is connect the dots. And you're wondering why I am focused on voting rights. You're wondering why I'm focused on making sure you're getting the information. Here's why. Connect the dots. So we need to connect the dots of Tucker Carlson to all of these other people out here showing their hand, and they're not being indicted. They're not going to jail. They're not being called across the carpet. We even have them now in our Supreme Court of the United States. What's happening with Clarence Thomas? Why have all of a sudden we stopped talking about it? No, he broke the law. What are we doing about that? Let's even connect his dot to his wife, Jenny. Hello, Jenny. We haven't forgotten about you either. But y'all, we need to raise our voices. And if you cannot stand, if you cannot protest, then we have to raise our voices by voting. Wow, I said a whole lot. Let me see what you all are saying here in this chat. Let's see. Call it out. Call it all out. Misha, I'm trying to. Kim Edmondson, connect the dots. I'm trying to. Just nobody's listening. Mike Nicholson, they let the Nazis be, but they fight DEI initiatives. Yes to all of that. Yvonne Gardner says, not being held accountable. No, they're not being held accountable. Dr. Antoinette says, because it's no longer only in certain communities. That too. Y'all, if y'all want to see, now this is, I'm going to say this very carefully. I shared this with Stephanie Burbridge Hall one-on-one on the conversation yesterday. If you really have the stomach to stomach this, now y'all, it's raw. It is absolutely raunchy. No children should be watching this. Y'all, if you have Hulu, watch Snowfall. Yeah, 6 seasons of it. So you're not going to be able to watch it in one setting. Now, y'all, it is raunchy. You just have to get through all the other stuff. It is truly raunchy. I'm just telling y'all, there's some nudity, there's some sex scenes, there's some graphic sex scenes, but the drug movement and the CIA and the U.S. government and the Reagan administration, y'all might want to watch that. We need to open up our eyes and then have conversations behind all of this, y'all. That's what we do here on News in Motion. So I'm not getting ready to read to y'all Tucker Carlson's text, but read it. It is eye-opening, and it makes you raise the question. Deborah Sneeze watched it. She said, it's a good series. Listen, I'm like, woo! New Me Forever is on YouTube. It says, I watched it. Y'all tell the people what it is. It's like, oh, so you just snuck this into our communities. And then you've allowed the Black and brown people to have Black and brown crime and Black on Black crime. And you allowed all these things to happen while your hands are clean. No, y'all, this is what's happening. Now, y'all, things are changing. Yeah, they're changing. CNBC, AP News, Vulture, and others are reporting the Writers Guild of America began a strike yesterday after talks with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers failed to reach an agreement on a new contract. Y'all, that's 11,500 members argues that pay has not kept up with the rapid pace of technology changes and the rise of streaming services and artificial intelligence. Y'all, it got so deep, I had to go be nosy. Y'all know me, I got to be nosy and see everything that's going on. I just don't want to take an article. I need to dig deep to see what's happening. Well, y'all, you talking about negotiation holdout. Y'all, the Writers Guild has asked for money. They're like, you're going to give me some money or I'm not writing anymore. Just go ahead and use AI. And AI is not doing all that good. They're talking about the streaming residual. They're talking about the regulation. They want regulation of artificial intelligence. They said, according to the Guild's document, it is proposing that AI can't write or rewrite literary material. Hello, somebody. They put their foot down. Y'all, the Guild is also proposing increasing in minimum of 6%, 5%, and 5%. And they're talking about how they want to break that down and how they put their pay. They're wanting to create a new minimum tier for writer producers. Y'all, currently, minimum for every above staff writer is $7,412 per week. Now, we may say that's pretty darn good for those of us that's not making that. But when you really put that into perspective and look at what the producer, the director, the celebrities are making, that ain't even close to what because they're the ones that's writing the script. There would not be a script. There would not be a need for the celebrity if they didn't have a script writer to write the script. Y'all, they're also talking about the span cap from $400,000 per year to $450,000 per year, and the list goes on. Like, that's how you negotiate. Y'all, they in a stand down. But what's going to happen? All the night shows are going to be the first ones to be hit because they need their script writer. Y'all should be like me. I write my own scripts. Hello, somebody. Listen, and you got to know what you got to know and do what you got to do. All right, y'all, it's time for the workshop because the ceiling is falling. Yeah. First off, let me give you some definitions. Because Hakeem Jeffries, he's coming in like it's about to be a hostage takeover over here in the house. And you better know what you know. What they say, if you around, you're going to find out. Y'all know what I'm saying that's happening out there. Y'all know what word it begins with an F. They say, if you want to, you're going to find out. And he's about to show them just who he is. I love this black man up in there. Y'all, let me give you your first definition. The definition of what's a discharge petition? Because that's what he's bringing out. Like, boom, I'm about to blow this up. Y'all, in the United States parliamentary procedure, a discharge petition is a means to bring about a bill out of committee onto the floor for consideration without a report from the committee by discharging the committee from further consideration of a bill or resolution. Hello, somebody. He came in the back door like, boom. Let me tell you why. Remember, the vote was 217 to 215. He got his 5 people that he needs to come from the other side to play this bill out here. That's what's happening. Indivisible defines it this way, because I want to make sure you have an understanding of what I'm talking about. This is called a legislative process 101 discharge position. What is it? After a bill has been introduced and referred to a standing committee for 30 days, a member of the House can file a motion to have a bill discharged. So they're looking at their number as May 16, which means, homeboy, the minority leader has been in play for at least 15 days and they missed it. That's how you move in silence. They missed it. Now they can put out a petition to see who's going to sign it. Well, all Democrats have fallen in line, and the 5 people who voted with the Democrats are open to doing it. So they really kind of have it. Now it's up to Speaker McCarthy and his people to see if he can get those 5 to come over there with them. But they're not giving it up because the constituents has called into the representatives and said, you give this up, we're going to have a problem with you. We're going to have to vote you out. Y'all, that's how you play the game. Now, isn't signing the discharge bill just like co-sponsoring the bill? Well, yeah, kind of similar, but it's not the same. Adding the name as a co-sponsor of a bill signals to the public that a member of Congress, that's a MOC, y'all, MOC, member of Congress, would support the bill should come to the floor. And under normal procedures, the majority leader schedules all bills consideration by the House. However, a discharge position, the minority leader does not have the discretion to whether to schedule the bill. This is about to happen. Watch this play out, y'all. This is going to be amazing. I get so excited about this. Y'all, so the Democrats took up a step on Tuesday towards a force of a vote of the debt ceiling increase. So there's a standoff. Go back to what I said back in November of 2022. it's like gridlock in the House. The numbers weren't there. There was no blue wave, there was no red wave, but the blue people held the line steady. That's the power of our voice and the power of our vote. So he has snuck in here, have this discharge position. May the 16th, they can start signing their name on the line, and boom, it's about to happen, which means he was silent for about 15 days, which tells me Democrats aren't as crazy as they thought they were. They really can play some chess if they're allowed to do it. It just took some new blood. It took some new blood, which also says it takes some younger people, some people that's been quiet, that's been paying attention, that's been sitting in the back. He was put in there as the minority leader, and bam, he's making some moves that nobody ever thought he was going to be able to make. He's about to change the game right here, and he's so smooth with it. They probably can't even understand half of what he's saying, but it is what it is. All right, y'all. So the Democrats said they would seek this discharge position. Republicans control the House 222 to 213 for the petition to succeed. But remember, they have 5 already. The vote was 217 to 215. Yeah, y'all, they got it going on. Y'all, the filing of a debt ceiling measure, this is a direct quote by Minority Leader Jeffries, Democrat from New York. He says the filing of a debt ceiling measure to be brought up on the discharge calendar preserves an important option. So he's calling it an option. He goes on to say, it is now time for the MAGA Republicans to act in a bipartisan manner to pay the American bills without extreme conditions. All right, but we got to get into the weeds, y'all. We got to get into the weeds. The House Democrat statement on the discharge position doesn't specify the terms of the proposed debt ceiling increase. And an aide said the Democrats are exploring the discharge position to keep their legislative options open. Some House Democrats caution that a discharge position was a heavy lift, but they're willing to take the lift because of the seriousness. Go back to the X date that I shared with you all on yesterday. Marian Jackson says, class is in session. Kim Edmondson says, educate us. Listen, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. And we all need to understand what this is and how this plays off. So let's talk about Representative Brendan Boyle of Pennsylvania, the top Democrat on the House Budget Committee. He says he wants to have that the game is just in case, that this play is just in case. He also says we do not have a break glass option if need be, we do have a break glass option if need be. Still, this is a low probability play. So they're also being very cautious about it, but they're saying they're open to it because here's the thing. I want y'all to think about this just for a moment. I shared this yesterday when I was going through what's on the table, what's on the table that people are trying to deal with. And that is, how are you going to put in a bill Biden's student loan forgiveness when it's still in the Supreme Court? Anybody ever thought about that? How are you making this play and it's still in at the Supreme Court? That's a tricky move. When we got Medicaid on the block, we also have other taxes on the block. We also have, y'all, 217 GOP Republicans in the House, 217 of them, decided to cut 60,000 teaching jobs. 60,000 teaching jobs that equates to about 65 million students. Who does that? So you don't want us to learn. So that's your play? You just don't want us educated? Is that because you're not educated and you don't know what you're doing? It makes me wonder who's really reading these bills in the House. Are you sitting down and understanding what you're cutting? Are you realizing that this comes back to your constituents? Like, why do you want to do that? Is it because that your students are in private schools, so you don't understand how the public school or the city school system works? Y'all, this is where even if your children have graduated, we should still be involved, especially if we pay taxes, and we all pay taxes one way or another. Going back to yesterday's conversation about this whole money thing, have you really sat back and thought about how much we pay and they don't pay? But yet we don't want to vote. We don't want to go to town hall meetings. We don't want to raise the questions. Look, y'all, this is on our shoulders. Maybe that's the angle I need to come at here on News in Motion. These things are on our shoulders. We're paying the bill. Well, I'd be daggone. You're going to hear my voice. We need to be raising our voices and asking these necessary questions. Going back to this debt, why are we in debt anyway? How do we get billions of dollars, trillions of dollars in debt? Will we ever get out of this debt? What moves do we need to make? Do we need to tax the billionaires, the multimillionaires? How are they being able to evade their taxes and not pay any taxes? But if we do one thing wrong, you're ready to lock us up. Explain that to me. Is it because we have been carrying the weight all along? We need to connect this to Tulsa. We need to connect this to the Black Wall Street. Why did you really take them down? Why did you really murder all of these people and destroy the wealth and the work that they were doing? What is it? Y'all, these are the questions we need to be asking seriously, y'all. I want to see what some of you are saying. Stephanie saying she loves her some him. Listen, it's just crazy. We need to pay attention to what's happening, because then we have Marjorie Taylor Greene that's coming in, and she warned. This is her quote. She warned that it would be a career-ending move unless they want to switch parties for any Republican to back the petition. So she's kind of like threatening her colleagues, saying this will end your career if you do that. So y'all, I want us to think just for a moment. If y'all just will indulge me for a little bit longer, and then we're out of here with the inspirational message. Let's take George Santos, who has vowed to run for re-election. I think that's the most hilarious thing. Does he understand this 320-page bill? Does he know what he signed on? Who read it? Did he read it, or did he allow somebody to give him their cliff notes? Does Marjorie Taylor Greene know what she's reading? Seriously, does she know what's really happening in here? Does anyone who reads these? I read it, and when I read it, I'm like, some of this stuff doesn't even make sense. Did anybody spell check this? Did they do editing? Who published this 320-page document? It does not make sense. And whose pockets are they covering? These are the questions that we need to ask. Seriously, y'all. These are the questions that we need to ask. So we have this discharge position that we need to pay attention to see how it's going to unfold. And again, they have until May the 16th to begin signing all of the petition if they're going to do this. Marion Jackson says MTG Marjorie Taylor Greene needs to be voted out. Hey, they had an opportunity, but they didn't, which I say this is why we need to educate voters. Adrian says MTG does not know when she is talking about people paying taxes during the Ice Age. There's that. There's a lot of questions. And even in our town hall meetings, we should be asking the questions that I'm asking today and I'm asking right now. So that's what I have for today. I didn't want to overwhelm you today. I wanted you to look this up. And again, you know what I say, don't take my word for it. Research it for yourself. Research it for yourself. Know the truth, for the truth will set you free, which takes me to my inspirational message today. And that is, think on these things. Real basic. It's right there from the word. Whatever is true. So when you're looking at all these articles, when you're vetting the articles, when you're listening to news reporters, when you're following along on some of these bills, you need to ask yourself, what is true? What is true? Next, what is noble? What's the noble thing to do here? What's noble? What is right? What's right for the people of America? What's right for the constituents? What's right for our students that are in school? What's right for our healthcare system? What's right for the migrants? What's right at the border? What's right? What's right? What's right? And then whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, where do we extend our love to one another? What does that look like? How do we get beyond all this partisan isms and all the junk that comes with it? And how do we begin to look at unity? whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think on those things. So our thinking, our mindsets have to change as well. The reason we are heavy on giving you all this information, and I wanted to give you the definition of what's happening, and to give you some research and some other sites to share with you, is because y'all, voting is more than just saying, okay, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We got to get beyond that. We have to go deeper, which means we have to take time. We hear this all the time. My grandparents said this. I'm not for sure who coined this, but if they want to make sure we don't understand what's going on, the rule is to put it in a book, to put it in a document, because we don't read. We need to change that narrative and make sure not only are we reading, but we're taking what we're reading and we're sharing it with somebody else. That's what's important. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me, this is out of that passage out of Philippians chapter 4, verse 8 and 9, or seen in me, put it into practice. Yeah, we need to begin putting into practice. That's going back to that wisdom, that discernment, that understanding, that grace and mercy. All of that comes with that, and the God of peace will be with you. I'm not going to lose it anymore on what's happening. I'm going to pay attention, and I have a goal. I have what I believe a mandate from God to empower you, to educate you, and to get all of us to move collectively to doing something about it. Y'all, in these times, things are happening and we all get exhausted. Hey, take a month break and then come back like I did, because that month break, I had no idea how much I needed it. Now that I'm back from that break, I am seeing things that I wasn't seeing for a moment because I was so burned out. I was so overloaded. So y'all, I just dropped a whole lot of information with you within the past 25, 30 minutes. We have to pay attention to this, even with the Writers Guild. Don't miss that. Don't miss that. Again, we're talking, and I want to go back to that because the Writers Guild of America argues that streaming shows tend to have shorter seasons because they're shorter now, so it's cutting into their pay, meaning writers are getting paid less for each job and residual income. Now, royalties collected. Talking about royalties, I'm an author. I have 14 books. Royalties have changed. They're starting to shrink, to decrease that percentage. And I'm asking a question, why? And some pushback is because of AI. Well, AI may be writing for some people, but AI doesn't write for me. So what is happening with that? And where's the misinformation that's going to come from that? I shared with you some information on yesterday's News in Motion about how a lot of these digital news sources are putting out false information when it comes to health and politics and financials. So we have to pay attention to this. And they're saying that the royalties collected are much, much lower. And then the average writer producer pay has declined by 23% when adjusted to inflation and over the past decade. So y'all, a lot is happening. They're looking at projected writers of 425 million. Don't let the million mess you up. That it has decreased to 86 million. That's a whole lot of million. So y'all, we have to pay attention to this. All of this is connected to our voice and our voting, because these rules and regulations start local government and then it goes to federal government. Y'all, don't miss it. Your local politics are just as important as the federal politics. It's all connected. And it's our job here at News in Motion, which we hope that it is our job, and we are communicating this with all of you effectively, that these things are connected. We need to pay attention and we need to do something about it. With that said, I am Gail Dudley, your host of News in Motion. Y'all know what I say. And until tomorrow, stay well. And remember, make some bold moves. We're out.